It is 7 o'clock. I've got 7 o'clock.
All right, we're ready to go.
Okay. We will call to order this meeting of the Village of North Hudson Plan Commission, Wednesday, November 17th. Roll call, please.
Barry Felland.
Here.
Rob Howard.
Here.
Tom Mitchell.
Here.
Mike Miser.
Here.
Dan Ortner.
Here.
Jean Schneider.
Here.
Mary Wecken.
Here.
That's perfect attendance. Very good.
Woohoo, for us. That doesn't happen.
Next order of business is the approval of the meeting minutes of September 15th. We did not have a meeting in October, which is...
Move approval of the September 15 meeting minutes.
A second.
Any discussion, corrections? If not, all in favor of approval of the meeting minutes of the Plan Commission of September 15th, 2010, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, that passes. Item 4, Whispering Oaks Extraterritorial Subdivision Phase 1 Final Plat, Review and Possible Recommendation. We discussed this earlier on a preliminary plat, and so now they're ready with the final plat.
John Sonhead with S&M Land Surveying here on behalf of the owners. As we mentioned, preliminary plat had gone through all the approval process with the town, the county, and the village. There was a lot of discussion during that time. Basically, we've finalized everything. Everything's got the approval. Biggest issue in the very end was Land and Water Conservation Department with St. Clair County. We had to finish up all the, I don't know if this is on or not, had to finish up all of the stormwater details, and we got that squared away, and everything is satisfactory now at this point. So what you see for the final plat is just the first phase of 3 that would be proposed for construction. The reason we're back here we go. They were hoping to maybe start this fall, but it hasn't happened yet, and so likely it'll start construction next spring. But during the preliminary plat approval, the town requested that we not remove Miller Road cul-de-sac until we came back to them with the final plat. So the Miller Road cul-de-sac is right here. There's a little center island that they want taken out. But they didn't want us to take that out until they saw the final plat. So we got it prepared, got the final plat to them in case we got around to constructing and wanting to pull that cul-de-sac out. So that's why we got it ready, got it in, even though construction hasn't happened. That's why we got the final plat in. St. Clair County won't really review it until construction is basically complete. But again, the town wanted to see it sooner than later, and as long as we had it ready, we thought he'd bring back to the village too, so it's fresh in everybody's memory. But so it's pretty straightforward. Same thing as basically what you're seeing for preliminary plat. One minor change from what you guys did see. This road connection got bumped to the north a little bit, and a lot was lost in there. It was bumped to the north in order to maintain 1,000 feet from that point to the end of the cul-de-sac. So on the overall preliminary from here to this point is 1,000 feet. We had asked for a waiver when it was down here, was not granted. Talked about this being the starting point for measurement. Town wanted this dedicated area, so just as you guys saw, it's still being dedicated, but they did not want it constructed. And since they did not want it constructed, then the county didn't want to start the measurement at that point. So just kind of a wash between different ordinance requirements and different opinions. And so the end result was move that road connection of Miller Road slightly to the north to comply with the 1,000 feet permanent cul-de-sac length. We didn't really think it was necessary, but it's what we had to do to get the approval. So that's really the only change then from what you guys had seen. First 8 lots. And the hope would then be construction will be finished up next spring, and once that's done, then the county would end up signing off on the final plat. We'd record it, then they could start selling lots, probably next summer sometime. So any questions? I do have, probably from what your packet is, just the minimal updates that the town had asked for, if anybody wants to see it. The town had asked for They wanted a note regarding individual stormwater on each lot, what you should have for requirements. We had it on the plat, but we didn't really have our notes organized very well, and it didn't stand out that much. And so the town asked that we make that a little more strong on the plat. So I just kind of reorganized our notes. The notes are written the exact same way, but if you notice up in this corner, there's just up in that corner, we just identified the individual stormwater notes. And that, I think I heard you mention you had the town minutes. I was probably in the town minutes talking about clarifying that is an important issue to them, and they want to make sure it's clear that when somebody looks at that plat. There.
That's a lot of paper to tell us this.
Well, I just want to make
A
sure,
lot
you
of
know, if
trees.
you had,
Thanks, yep.
if you had questions about that note, you'd have an idea of what, how we are gonna address that. And then the road name changed from whatever we had, can't remember our previous road name, changed the road name, the new one to Autumn Oak Lane. So that, so that's the change of what you're seeing on that drawing, just in case anybody had questions on town comments. You can go drive the car home?
If there's no immediate questions, we'll just see if Kevin has any comments, and then we'll go back to questions. Kevin, any comments on your notes?
I think you all have a copy of our memo and took a look at all of our previous comments as part of the preliminary plat, and everything's pretty much straightforward. And so we're recommending approval contingent on the town of Hudson, which sounds like that's already taken place, so it'll just be the county's final approval, so.
Okay. Becky, do you want to just comment on what you put on our desk, just to say what's been approved and
Sure.
something came in after we got our packages?
Yeah, after the packets went out on Friday, I was able to get from the town of Hudson, the minutes, draft minutes from their plan commission meeting of October 18th, and then the town board draft minutes of October 26th. Those are both on the table for you to review. You can see on there the conditions that were placed by the town. Most of them are not applicable to the interests of the village, but the information is there for you to review. And then I've also provided an issue statement if anybody wants to take a look at some of that background.
Okay, so the developer agreed to the 13 conditions the town put on there. And Kevin, you looked at, and there's nothing that impacts us?
No.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for either?
I have one concern. I still believe that there should be curb and gutter and storm sewer out here into these ponds. If one day this is gonna be ours.
If that happens, storm sewer, talk about storm sewer. If that would be annexed, what would happen then on the cost of putting in storm sewer?
Property owners would have to pay.
Yeah, I mean, typically, if there was improvements that were done, yeah, the benefiting property owners would have to pay for those costs. They'd have to be special assessed.
One thing that the village doesn't have to annex property. People can petition to annex, and the village can say, well, we'll annex it if there's curb and gutter, and we won't if there's not. But yeah, it would be the property owners who would bear the cost of that, the benefiting property owners.
Yeah.
Assuming we do it that way. If we would do it another way, bring it in, we could special assess it, or the village could just pay for it themselves. Those are just all the different ways it could happen.
So in a typical case, if the people in these houses wanted to become part of the village, and one of the conditions were, will you pay for some of these improvements, then they know that going in.
Yes.
Yeah, as part of the annexation, or that would be one of the stipulations then.
How would the annexation occur? I mean, conceivably, could it be a lot at a time, or does this whole CSM come as one?
The property owners would have to petition to come into the village, and you can't say per se create an island, so there had to be some kind of connection point.
Yeah.
So, the Zapple parcel You know, the parcel just to the east of there, you know, that parcel would have to come in, and then this piece also, you just can't create islands per se.
Right.
So, yeah, they,
So this,
In
All
theory,
petition.
though, Terry, they could come in one at a time. If let's say that the big lots over here were already in the village, and property owner two, lot two, wanted to petition to be annexed, and one didn't, two could petition, they would have that right. I mean, they wouldn't necessarily get annexed, because you have to
Right.
petition the village
yeah.
to be annexed.
but it couldn't happen until some of the previous, or the other owners, other property owners.
There would
were
have
part
to
of the
be some connection.
Yes.
You can't have just an island out there in the middle of nowhere.
Okay. Yeah, anything else? In the issue statement Becky has given us, she even had a suggested motion based on,
I move to follow Becky's suggestion.
You should read it. I think that'd be best.
I would have to.
It's
read
not too long, yeah.
it. I can read. Move to approve the final plat of Whispering Oaks, Phase 1, as an extraterritorial subdivision located in the town of Hudson. Applicant John, and I don't know how to say his name,
Parodi.
NWP Holdings LLC, with the following condition: the developer must provide the Village of North Hudson with a signed recorded copy of the final plat. The developer is hereby notified that the village approval does not constitute approval by the town of Hudson, the St. Croix County Planning and Zoning Department, or any other reviewing authority.
thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion, and a second. Is there any discussion? My understanding from last time is you need several entities to approve this, and you're still waiting on the county.
Yeah, the
That'll
county
be-
will wait until the construction, they have a policy that the construction must basically be done, and they wanna know that things got put in the right spot and everything's growing well before it gets recorded, sell lots, people get permits, start getting out there, cause they had problems in the past where you'd get homes started under construction and the road wasn't even done, and then they had
I see.
concerns about emergency services and other things, so they've kinda changed their policy in the last few years, actually it was part of their ordinance too, some of it.
Oh, so you have to have the infrastructure completed before they approve it, and then you can build homes, okay?
Correct. It'll be a little while yet.
Okay. Anything else? Not, we'll take a vote. All in favor of approval of the motion? Let me read it here. Sure I got it right, too. Well, I wasn't gonna repeat it, just, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the approval of the final plats for Whispering Oaks extraterritorial subdivision, Phase 1. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, no? It's, approved.
Thank you very much. And then this will
Does
go
this
to the
go board?
council,
Does this go to the
It's
board?
a,
Yes,
yeah,
November
this is a
4th.
recommendation.
We
to-
recommend to the board.
December
December 7th.
7th, yeah.
Sorry, I'm a month behind, yeah.
And,
December
Here, why don't you take some
curiosity, they
paper?
haven't probably seen this in a while. I think we did go to them once at a road concept meeting.
Probably not the
I
full
don't think
board.
so.
Okay,
We talked about it, and when we went there, we said,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
preliminary plats don't go to the board.
right.
Yeah.
So do they typically follow plan commission action? Is there any,
They'll have these maps,
okay. Okay.
and then if you have a big one you wanna show.
You know, if you're asking whether they're gonna approve this or not, I don't think anybody here can answer that.
No, I just curious, it was unique not having them see the preliminary plat.
Yeah, you can
You know what, I
have
can
this
hold
one
on
back.
to them, because I'll use those for the board then. This is what you're anticipating to be the final?
Yeah, if it goes to the board, then rather than,
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
actually, I should keep one.
sorry,
All right.
One of my records.
You don't want these.
thank you.
All right, thanks, John.
She wants the new ones.
Yeah, no.
Okay, item number 5, routine business. New business. Anything else? Not hearing
Anything
anything.
else coming down the pipeline?
There has been some work on, some lots over on, Galahad Road, off of Galahad Road. that they're working on possibly doing some conveyances. There's a property owner over there who owns 3 lots, and he's in the process of potentially purchasing a strip of land from the East Bank condominiums because he's got a driveway that encroaches a little bit onto their property. I believe he's working with his surveyor at this point, so that will be coming eventually, but may or may not be December. It could be into next year before that happens, so.
As we approved the September minutes, we, at that meeting, we had recommended a change date of ordinance 07-2010, amending the subdivisions and that topic about conveyances between landowners. And the village board did approve that ordinance change at the next meeting.
Okay, good.
So this will be a first test of it. Hopefully we did it right. Okay, nothing else. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Happy Thanksgiving.
We have a motion. For a second.
I said happy Thanksgiving. Yes.
That was interpreted as a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Be careful deer hunting out there.
Yeah.
All in favor of adjournment, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned at 7:16. Thank
Might
you.
be the